Hey everybody, it is Throbby here, and we're back with another video. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple of upcoming RPGs that I'm really excited for. They look really good. Some of them you probably have heard about, and there's a couple on here that you haven't heard about. Think developers who've left studios, OG developers who helped create some of your favorite franchises, and developers who are changing up the way that they're making their games and making new genres of RPG games that look fantastic. So this is going to be a really fun and exciting video. Tons of things to cover, but before we get started, obviously, if you're a new viewer, please comment, like, subscribe on the video. See, I mixed it up there for you this time to keep you engaged. Please subscribe. We're trying to build up the subscriber base, and the most people who watch the videos are not subscribed, so please subscribe. Also, in the description is our game, Winter Reach Emporium. Winter Reach Emporium is a management game set in a fantasy world up on a mountain, so a lot of RPG fans, if you guys are fantasy game fans, this is in a fantasy world. If you're fans of strategy games or management games, this will also scratch that itch. And without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. All right, and the first game that I want to talk about is the Wayward Realms. So why the Wayward Realms is exciting is it is under the direction of Ted Peterson and Julian Lafay. And if you don't know, they were the lead developers on the team behind the original Elder Scrolls games. Obviously, you know, here on the channel, we love Elder Scrolls. But they were on the OG ones, so the ones that I actually haven't played, those being Arena and Daggerfall. Once Lost Games is their new studio, and they said that they are locked into creating a new open-world fantasy RPG where choice and consequence are experienced on a scale never attempted before. So think back to Daggerfall, think huge open worlds, Arena, huge open worlds. There's probably going to be lots of procedural generation, which could be a bad thing. I think it is really cool how they do it in Arena. I've seen plenty of videos, so even though I haven't played it myself, I've looked into it a ton, watched playthroughs. It looks really fun. So this is being labeled as a spiritual successor to the original Elder Scrolls games, but in a new setting. They said that they're aiming to revive those old RPGs that we love, those classic role-playing games, but they want to use some modern development standards and quality life advancements, which I think will be really good. The highlights here are choice, consequence, a huge scope, and role-playing that they're saying is going to be experienced like never before. With in-depth class and combat systems, a myriad of complex and dynamic faction relations, and a realistically scaled open world where players will experience a new class of game, the Grand RPG. Here, we're a huge fan of Grand strategy, so throw in Grand before RPG, I can get behind it. Why this is so cool to me is I do worry, obviously, that Bethesda has kind of lost their way, and I think that a game like this that is going to kind of rival that Scrolls-like style game is huge. So hopefully they make this, and it's good. Hopefully it's not super buggy, and then hopefully the procedural generation isn't, doesn't detract from the overall game. Obviously, lore is really built up in the Elder Scrolls, so they're going to have to build up their own lore, but they have let us know that the setting is a group of over 100 islands ranging from small to massive, known collectively as the Archipelago, where scores of factions vie for influence and power. So this will be a big changing world where you can kind of build up a faction and destroy smaller factions. There's tons of islands. Dynasties strive to maintain the status quo. Upstarts seek to earn their place at the top, and intriguing powerhouses set generational plots in motion. There is just so much going on with this game. I'm really excited. There's tons of islands, tons of kingdoms, tons of factions. It sounds like this is going to be kind of a almost political sim, Game of Thrones kind of style of Scrolls-like game, and I'm just so here for it. So this is the number one. I cannot wait for this. There's no release date right now. It is on Steam, is coming soon, but who knows when it'll actually be here. All right, up next, we have another RPG. This is more of a action RPG. It is developed by Paraglacial and published by THQ Nordic. This is Fatekeeper. Fatekeeper, you're going to venture into a handcrafted world where the ruins whisper of a past cataclysm. Master the art of sword and sorcery. Forge your path with relics, spells, and choices that shape who you will become in this first-person RPG. So what I think is more important about this one is the visuals. This one's a little bit more visually exciting. Apparently, this is going to be a bit more of a linear story than it is a true open world, which isn't necessarily the worst thing. Not typically the kind of game that I will play. It actually looks a lot like Fall of Avalon to me, and that's kind of the vibe it gets. It seems like there's a bit heavier focus on the actual combat itself with some, I don't want to say Souls-like, kind of parrying, dodging, interrupting, kind of things like that in combat. It does have this classic kind of Souls-like POV where you're first person. So I think this could be really interesting. If the story's really good and the world is nice to explore, and then the combat is awesome, this is kind of a recipe for a really fun game. Do I think it will be a Game of the Year contender or anything like that? I really don't. I'm just more intrigued than anything with this game. I think it could be really cool. The progression system looks really good. Apparently, it's going to offer rich progression mechanics that go far beyond surface level stats. They've shown some different stats and builds where you can kind of lean into either just strength or precision, or if you want to go full sorcery, it kind of supports just a wide range of viable builds, which is always really fun. It's going to boost the replayability, especially if there's multiple endings and your decisions actually really matter. This could be a really replayable game. That's the thing about linear stories, is that they, for me at least, have to be more replayable because there's going to be less content in the actual story. This game is listed on Steam. There is no release date announced, but I'm thinking it's going to come out within the next year or two. They've released a lot of gameplay, probably closer to 1 year would be my guess. I think this is probably a 2026 release, if not an early 2027. And that's Fatekeeper, which keep an eye on. It's not looking like it's going to be the game of the year, but it could be really fun. And to flip the script here, from games that have no release date, we have one that's actually coming out pretty soon on March 19th, 2026. We're going to get Crimson Desert. It's developed and published by Pearl Abyss, the makers of Black Desert, the MMO, and Crimson Desert was going to be the next MMO, but instead they decided to make it a single-player open-world action-adventure game where you are on the beautiful continent of Pywell and you embark on a journey as the Greymane Cliff to restore what he's lost. This game looks insane, from combat, graphics, the actual world itself. All of it looks insane. The world is supposed to be a living, breathing world filled with mystery, fantasy, and tons to discover. We've seen bustling towns, quiet hamlets, open plains, deserts, mountains, forgotten ruins, shrines, and all kinds of unique landmarks. You gather resources, you can craft, hunt, partake in various events that'll aid you in your journey. This world is huge. You can ride mounts, from horses to wolves, dragons, machines. You can climb cliff sides and walls, leap and glide through mystical gates. This game literally has it all. The combat looks fluid. You can use all kinds of weapons, swords, spears, bows, powerful abilities, elemental enhancements. You get a wide arsenal of all kinds of different lethal combinations just to make battle amazing. This might be my most hyped game of the year. If this game is as good as it looks, it is a shoo-in for game of the year. Let me say that again. If the hype is real, this could be the game of the year. Okay, guys, look at it. It looks fantastic. Now, I think the only thing that we really have to consider is the open world just big and beautiful, or is there actually a lot of content, a lot of things to discover, a good story, good dialogue, good decision making? Even if there's not great decision making, is it enriching to play through the different stories and quest lines? If it is, I mean, come on, guys, this is awesome. All right, and the last game that I want to talk about and can't stop talking about is the Blood of Dawnwalker. I don't really actually love the name, as funny as that is, but this is being developed by Rebel Wolves, who are ex-CD Projekt Red developers. And it's very obvious if you look at the game. It looks so much like The Witcher. The things in this game that I love are the atmosphere. Obviously, the Witcher DNA, and there's a couple unique mechanics that I want to go over. But first, the atmosphere. The Eastern European, Transylvanian kind of Wallachia, it's giving Castlevania style. I love it. I really like how Witcher kind of leans into the Polish vibe, and I think that this is a kind of adjacent culture, but it just gives such a good dark fantasy vibe that I love. It's set in 14th century Europe, so think 1300s. Lots of cool stuff going on in the medieval age. I love the medieval age. Next thing to talk about is the Witcher DNA. Obviously, developers from The Witcher 3 helped create this game. It looks so much like The Witcher 3. It even looks like it plays like The Witcher 3. The combat even looks better than it did in The Witcher 3, which, to be fair, I didn't think The Witcher 3's combat was that fantastic, but it looks like they're adding more to it with more abilities and more of an active reacting combat. There's supposed to be a deep story with tons of narrative choice that you can't get all in one playthrough. And I think that that is one of the really bold things this game is doing, is you have 30 days to rescue your family. That's kind of the story of the game, but you have all kinds of different avenues you can take to do it. Every time you progress the story, you will tick your counter, so you'll have 30 days, you progress in the story a little bit, now you have 29 days, now you have 28 days, and so on and so forth. Now, why that matters is there's more content than days, so you will have to leave stuff out. You're going to want to replay this game. You're going to have to replay this game. There's different endings, different paths you can take. Everything is so different. And then the other thing is the daytime is kind of played like a slow, you're a human during the daytime. You do general human things. It's more detective-y. It's more walk around as a human. At nighttime, your vampire powers evolve. You start shadow stepping and doing all kinds of crazy vampire moves, and combat opens up. So I think another bold move, which is pretty rare for RPGs nowadays. Nowadays, they want to give you as much content, make sure you can do it all as many times as possible. And they're telling you, not only are you not going to be able to do all of the quests, you're also not going to have access to all of your same powers throughout the day. So you're going to have to change your playstyle between night and day. Overall, I think it's really bold. I think the game looks beautiful, and I just have a lot of trust in the team. So that is the last one that I am super excited for. Also, there's no release date for this game, but with that being said, I would be kind of shocked to see it not released in 2026 or released early 2027, like think Q1. Okay, buddy, I hope you enjoyed the video. So those are the 4 RPGs that I am kind of over the moon excited for. I can't wait to play them. I'll definitely be buying them day one. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the algorithm, it helps the video, it helps the channel. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody who made it to this point. I can't do it without you. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.